A very good evening to everyone. I can see Sikandar. Can you just let me know that whether you can hear me clearly and are the PPTs properly visible? In case if you can just revert me back so that I can start the session for the day. A very good evening to all. I hope I am clearly audible and you can hear me clearly so that we can start the session for the day. Okay, fine. Shakti, thank you very much. So let's start the session for the day. Welcome you all to NTA UGC NET preparation for paper 1, that is for your October 2021 examination. On the topic, we are going to start a new unit today, that is unit communication, which will be again a series of theory as well as you will be having the MCQs also. Okay, so those who have joined, yes, thank you everyone. Those who have joined, please ensure that you send like, share and subscribe so that others also can join quickly. Yes, so totally for this particular unit, you know, there will be total questions from the paper will be 5, which will be consisting of your 10 marks. It means each question will be for 2 marks. Now before we start the unit communication, let's quickly have a review for the syllabus. Now when we talk about communication, in communication the unit is bit small, so you can have more focus and can secure full 10 marks. So communication, you will be having first meaning, then the types, and then you will be having characteristics of communication, which will basically come in the form of, you know, effective communication and classroom communication. There are most of the questions are seen like that. Coming to effective communication, where you will be having types, that is verbal, non-verbal and intercultural and group communication, including the classroom communication. You will be having barriers to effective communication and mass media and society. So today my target is this first and second point, and tomorrow my target will be barriers and media, mass media and society. Now as you all know, good evening to all those who have joined now. Personally, I didn't read anyone's message. Shakti, I will not take any other doubt other than communication. So if you have a doubt, I'll note it down and I will take it later. Okay. So we are going to see now. I have the unit is bit small and I have added more questions. Tomorrow also will be adding more questions. The intention to complete this strategy classes, you know, so that I can go with the third phase in order to give you more of MCQs. In third phase, we will not have any theory part unless and until there is an explanation for any particular answer which you need. That explanation will be given, but no theory will be taken, so that we can go within more target of, you know, doing more and more MCQs. So that is my intention. So the units which are a bit easy, I will clear them in 2 or 3 days, and it little bit difficult, then I can extend 4 days for that, 3 to 4 days, so that we can go for the third round, and especially those students who are appearing for set, for them also it will be helpful. Okay, so let's start now the session for the day. I know this slide is bit colorful, but I wanted the process to be highlighted, so it is. Rest all the slides are white and black today except one. Okay. So let's start this process of communication. You definitely have the questions on process of communication, starting with sender. Okay, your communication cycle or your process starts with sender. The sender one who encodes the message with the help of, you know, the message, encodes the message with the help of a channel. The message is on the way to the receiver who decodes the message and receives the message. Now when I'm talking about receiver, we ensure that the receiver has to revert back to the sender in the form of what? In the form of feedback. Okay, so if you see the components of if you see the components of communication, they talk about context, that is the message, sender, encoder, okay, message, channel, decoding, receiver, feedback, noise. So these are the basic components of your communication cycle. But yes, the questions which comes, there are mixed type of but easy questions which are seen, but still you have to be careful when you are, you know, when a question comes, immediately do not jump with I mean to say, do not jump with any conclusion for this topic. So read the question very carefully, because as I said, such questions are asked with, either they use the word as effective classroom communication. So just ensure that whenever you are reading such questions on communication, you also have teaching in place. I mean to say, teacher, the student and the communication. These three components are very important when you think for the answer. So we are going to do some practice today, but be careful. Okay. Now, yes, many of the students have doubt with encoding and decoding. So let's understand it very well. Now we know, once again, I'll just go over here. Sender is the one who initiates the message. Receiver is the one who receives the message. A receiver has to respond, which comes in the form of feedback. Okay, channel or medium are used to pass the message from the sender to the receiver. Now, encoding, basically when we talk about encoding is the process of turning thoughts into communication. That happens with the whom? That happens, or it is initiated by sender. The encoder uses a medium. Now, who is an encoder? Obviously the sender, but the one who sends the message is an encoder who uses a medium or who uses a channel to send the message. That can be in the form of what? Akshita, what you want me to go for? Just a minute. I'll let me complete this. Either in the form of a phone call, either in the form of email, either in the form of text message or a face-to-face meeting, or with the help of any other communication tool that a sender use in order to turn the thoughts into communication. The encoder must also ensure or take in account the factor, that is noise, the component of noise, which can become a distraction or which can influence the meaning of the message. Okay, so decoding is, and this is what about encoding. Decoding is nothing but the process of turning communication into the thoughts with the help of what? With the help of the given message from the encoder. Okay, now I know, yes, students complain that the color slides, no, I don't know why they do not get clarity, but okay, once again I'll come, Akshata. See, this is a communication process. It is initiated by sender, who encodes the message with the help of channel. The message is on the way to the receiver. The receiver decodes the message. Now the receiver has to give a response, the response which comes in the form of feedback. So here the questions are basically in the form of, easy questions, but normally they put to the questions as when the cycle of communication gets completed, who is the initiator, who is on the other hand, okay, what is, who encodes the message, who decodes. But nowadays such process of communications questions are a little bit reduced. So let's see how much it can be, but you should remember these basic things. Okay, now going to the next part, that is 7 C's or principles of communication. Now on this principles of communication, you get general questions. That is, the principles of communication consist of completeness, concreteness, courtesy, correctness, clarity, consideration and concise. Now when we talk about completeness, it means that, now see, do not understand the meaning and leave it. Understand in the form of communication. Then when you talk about complete principle as one of the principle of communication, it means that you're supposed to give all the facts which are required for learning. See, I've written over here clearly, because we are not talking communication subject in general, we are talking communication from teaching point of view. So when we talk about completeness, it includes all the facts which are required for learning. It means you are supposed to give a complete information to the student when you are entering into a teaching learning process. When I talk about concreteness, it means it has to be specific, it has to be definite, and it has to be vivid. It means with various examples rather than a confusion. So it has to be concrete, means the foundation should be strong. Courtesy, it should have commitment and affection. Now when I am saying affection, if you remember, in teaching aptitude we did a question on bonding. Unless and until there is no bonding between the teacher and student, the students do not open up. So teacher has to show what in her communication, teacher has to show the courtesy. It means even if the teacher is strict, even if the teacher is a better management, but that warmth, feeling of warmth should be given, so that the students open up, the bonding gets created. Then correctness, it means appropriate, addressing the audience, giving the required details productive or not important content should not be brought into the teaching part. Clarity, a message should be very clear and specific. If the message is not clear, okay, or unclarity can result in the confusion in the minds of the students, which should be avoided. Consideration, to consider receiver's interest, okay. Teacher should be very much keep this particular principle in mind, so that whatever is given by the teacher, it is in the area, or it is with the respect to the interest level of the student. What the student's interest level is, according to that communication should take place. Conciseness, it means the communication should to communicate using least possible words, up to the point, okay, precise, you can say. Now see, when we talk about, I mean to say, many of you must be having sometimes a confusion that where these principles of communication are used. We do not see them anytime. These are the practical principles of communication. Now, many a times, many of you are teachers. You have seen your own teachers also. Sometimes we feel, the concepts are made very easy. The care is taken. There is a logic. So it means that in the teaching process, teacher has initiated all these principles of communication in order to make teaching easy. So these principles of communication are always there. Only the thing is they become intangible, okay. We can just feel them, but we cannot see or touch them. It's like that, okay. Now, along with the C's, there are also 4 S of effective communication. Now let's see what are these 4 S. I was just reading some theory of communication, so I came across this principles. So just make a note of it, okay. So we have 7 C's, but at the same time we have 4 S also. So what are they? That is shortness. It means your message should be precise, up to the point. Strength, your message should be concrete. Sincerity, there has to be courtesy and commitment. And simplicity, it means it should be clear, clarity, okay. So these are the 4 S of effective communication. Please keep this in mind. You never know the question comes from what angle. Then going ahead, yes, there are 4 skills. Now there is a question on skills also, that is listening skill, speaking skill, reading skill and writing skill. Now again, they can merge up a question by giving any other skills. But if you talk about communication, these are the 4 basic skills which are used in communication. I hope my speed and everything is fine. I just saw the message, but in case of speed, so just let me know. I can just take a control of it, okay. Now, when we talk about skills of communication, that is a listening skill which facilitates acquiring of all other skills and make meaning of the spoken language, which receives sounds of the language and interprets the message. So effective listening can be, effective listening will result into effective production of knowledge. But for that, the first very basic skill is what? You have to listen. That is very, very important. It's not basically a priority wise, but unless and until you do not listen, you can't produce, you can't speak effectively, you can't read, you can't write. So first basic skill comes as what? Listening. Then talking about speaking, that is awareness of grammar, lexical, that is linguistic ability, cultural feature. We have intercultural topic. So that comes from this. That is what, when and how to speak with correct pronunciation. See, we have good intelligent people. I mean to say, there are a lot of people who are very intelligent with their knowledge, with their ability, potential, but we do not they are not the best orators. So it means that some or other way they lack this skills. Lack in the sense they do not know what, when, how. It's not about pronunciation only, it is overall I'm talking about. So they do not know how to manage their speech. So that is one of the ability can be lacked. Now coming to reading, okay, when we talk about reading, Reading is basically the gateway of knowledge, looking at written printed symbols and translating them into the appropriate sound components. So yes, I mean to say, many a time, see, this skill is, obviously after listening only you'll be able to read carefully, but in life as in teachers, I should not say this, but this can take you, even if it comes to net examination clearance, your reading will take care of most of the things in your net examination. So it can help you, irrespective of the topics, irrespective of your skills and your alertness. So this plays a very important role in the gateway of knowledge, and as I said, it's one of the important role it plays even in your net examination. Coming to writing skills, writer's linguistic ability in use with language proficiency, including word selection, grammar and content. Basically, that is control over your writing part. So that is how the writing skills takes, things in place. So 4 skills which we have: one is listening, one is speaking, one is writing, reading, and another is writing. Coming to, yes, this is one of the very important point. Frequently there are questions seen nowadays with lot of examples. What is interpersonal communication? What is intrapersonal communication? Group communication, public communication, mass communication? So there are a lot of questions seen, but the questions are seen with the help of examples. So they will give you the examples and they will tell you to identify which type of communication it is. So let's see one by one. We have already done this, but let's take a quick revision. First comes an intrapersonal communication. Okay, intra it means which happens within the person. It is communicating with oneself. Okay, it happens when a person is trying to take a decision by his own reflection, to introspect, to analyze a situation, to make oneself comfortable with a situation. Okay, intrapersonal, that is intra, which talks about what? Within. And within whom? Within a person himself or within oneself. So when we talk about the example of intrapersonal, a person speaking to himself or with oneself is called as intra. You will be getting examples, or they may even give you direct questions. Communication within. So it is nothing but it's called as what? Intra. Coming to interpersonal, now here I have some important one topic also. It comes interpersonal, it means a communication that happens between two people, whether it can be structured, whether it can be planned, or it can be unplanned. The effectiveness depends upon understanding between the parties and proper articulation of the message. Now what is the meaning of this sentence is that interpersonal communication will be effective. Now when I'm saying effective, okay, Ashwini, just a minute. When I'm saying effective, it means that it should have an outcome. And when I'm saying outcome between whom? Outcome between called as, it is between the teacher, okay, and between the student. Please keep this. This is your base now, okay. So when there is a communication between teacher and students, okay, it has to be effective. It means it has to be productive. In what sense it is saying that the understanding what teacher is trying to teach the student and how properly it is articulated, how the message has been produced, how it is how it is reaching or how it is traveling to the student, whether there is a distraction or not. So based on all this components or factors, the effectiveness will be decided. But still, I mean to say, based on this, there is one topic, that is types of interpersonal powers in classroom communication. So you may get a question based on this, okay. Based on the interpersonal communication, there are certain personal powers in classroom communication. Now there are possession powers also and there are personal powers also. We'll see all of them. What are they? Expert power, that is with reference to knowledge, mastery or the content mastery. Referent power, information power, legitimate power, I've repeated this information power, and your coercive power. Now let's see what these powers are. Okay, so we have you can call them as they are divided as possession powers or they are divided as personal powers, but they come under the types of powers. Now when we talk about legitimate power. It means that you are the ruler. That is in the hand of what? That in the classroom, it is the teacher who is having the legitimate power. That is, teacher is the one who plays an important role. Okay. Now, when I talk reward power, it means, giving reward. So, rewarding, appreciating the students. Then, coercive power, it means giving punishment. Okay. Now, see, here punishment, it means we know that as per the norms, teacher are not supposed to give any physical punishment. But the punishment to ensure that the child learns and remembers something good instead of going on a wrong track. So, that time, yes, teacher has to give some punishment, but the punishment should not be physical. Resource power, it means controlled resources. I mean to say the study material. In your teaching, it is study material. Referent power, it means association. It means networking. Expert power, that is what exactly the knowledge wise. Information power, what type of knowledge do you give? Okay, which is really important for the kids. And connection power, it means again connecting networks. Okay, so these are the powers which can be seen within the within the people, that is within teacher and student, and most of the powers are in the hand of the teacher only. So this is just to make the classroom communication effective and making it productive. Yes, Ashwini, you have said you have got it, but yes, once again, if intra it means within. That within, it means oneself. Okay, so the person having the communication with his own self will be called as, it will be called as intra. Interactional Shakti, it means which interacts, means one person interacts with another. Okay, there is a communication, there is a conversation between two people. So when we say that, means I am speaking, at the same time you are reverting back, it is active from both the ends, it is called as interactional. Now, coming to group communication. Now, many a times it is seen that students get confused with group communication and corporate communication. Now, see, communication that happens between 3 or more members in a group. So, it is like, for example, communication happening in a department, communication happening in a unit, okay, communication happening between 2 departments can be called as what? Can be called as group communication. But at the same time, if the word corporate communication is used, corporate, the communication which is basically done from an industry point of view in order to, communicate themselves. Means they are talking about their policies, they are talking about their rules and regulations, they are talking about their organization. So it can either called as corporate communication or it is called as organizational communication, where their main focus is, to give them the to promote them, to spread about themselves, to give people knowledge about themselves, it means about the organization. So when the organization use the communication for their promoting, for their brand building, for the image building, you called it as organizational or corporate communication. Okay. Now, yes, feedback is there in the mass communication, but it is very, very weak. Okay, it's very weak, but it is there. Coming to public communication. Now, when I say public communication, that is where the sender broadcast a message to select audience, to a selective audience, okay, which can be formal, informal, where the powers are in the hand of sender. Okay, to use or discuss any outcome based on any objectives. Okay, like for example, politically you can see these things are used more oftenly. That is a public, or you, in order to create a social impact, okay, you want to give a social message, you want to give a political message, at that time you can use this public message. But there are no questions seen on this. Rather than in your papers or your syllabus, they put the questions on mass communication. That is, which is addressing a larger audience with the help of, newspaper, magazines, television, media. Now the biggest is YouTube, you can say. So social media. Where, yes, as Kaushalya has given an answer, that is, it is, her question was, what about the feedback? So yes, you have feedback in such type of communication, but the feedback is very, very weak. Okay, very weak in the sense there is no guarantee that the feedback is going to, come. So that is called as weak communication, but it is there. You may get a question, so just remember it is not zero feedback, it is there but weak. Ajita, your question, transactional means to process. Yeah, transactional, basically we use transaction as a word, from commerce point of view, okay, between business deals. So transactional communication, transactional model. Okay, Priya ma'am, how group communication in formal manner take? Group communication in the formal manner, it means, like for example, right now I want to have a meeting with my department with reference to performance, effective performance. So when I'm taking a formal meeting, obviously it is called as what? A group communication in a formal manner. Now corporate communication, as I said, Priya, corporate communication is the one to to sell themselves, to talk about their promotion, their goodwill, their fame. So that how it differs with corporate communication. Yes, between 4 to 5 people, more than that also, but within a group. So the group can be, like for example, if it is crossing a definite limit, then it can be a mass or it can be a public. But normally here it is a group communication, 4, 5, 10, 15 also. Got it? Okay. Now, yes, then you get now this question, types of here again you have, horizontal, vertical and diagonal. So nowadays, last 2-3 years, you have seen this questions also, but again this question comes in the form of what, examples. Like for example, a very common question seen was, if you are talking with you are a faculty member, you are a teacher, and you are talking with the same assistant professor, let's assume assistant professor, and you are talking with another assistant professor or with the another department assistant professor, but at same scale, same level. Say both of the department, the professors are assistant professor. So you are talking at equal par level. That is called as horizontal communication. Okay. When we talk about vertical communication, that is called as, either it will be called as an upward communication or it is called as downward communication. Now upward, it means from a lower level to top level, and downward it means from top level to the lower level. Now like for example, teachers communicating with the vice principal, principal communicating with the principal. So that goes, that goes upward. Now principal communicating with vice principal and then with the teachers. So that will be called as downward communication. Okay, same level. Yes, Bharashali, same level, it is called as horizontal. Okay, now one department with another, like for example, if I talk about physics department communicating with arts department of the college or with the commerce department of the college, so they are diagonal. The departments are different, but they belong to the same organization, but they will be called as diagonal communication. Okay, Rahina, group communication and corporate communication is just to confuse you, but corporate communication is basically when the communication, the organization people want to market themselves, promote themselves, spread about their goodwill or talk about their legacy. So that type of communication will be called as corporate communication. Is it clear? Okay, the questions will come. No, that time we will also let us go for the questions. So because there is a question on group communication and corporate communication, it will be more clear. Okay, is it clear? So let's go a little bit ahead, everyone. So coming to the next part is, yes, there is a question on this. Instead of showing it during the question time, I have just presented it levels of communication. That is level A, level D, level B, level C. You can arrange it in the sequence also. Horizontal, okay, just a minute. Upward and downward, they have a problem. Okay, just a minute. Horizontal communication. No, horizontal communication is the communication which happens at the same level. Like for example, as I said, assistant professor to assistant professor. Like example, all the executives, communicating with their own self. will be called as what? Horizontal communication. All the managers communicating with their own with their managers will be called as horizontal communication. All the head of the department communicating with each other will be called as horizontal. So it is, it talks about what? It talks about the same level. The position should be same. It is then called as what? Horizontal. And vertical, it means, it includes either upward, so from lower level, okay, to higher level, okay, it is called as what? Upward. It's going up. From downward, it means from higher level it's coming to lower level. I gave you an example also, okay. So example, principal to vice principal and to teachers will be that is your downward communication. But from teachers to the vice principal to the principal, then it will be called as your upward communication, going up and coming down. Just up and down you keep in mind. Is it clear? Okay. Yes, Trupti, just a second. I'll just complete this and then I'll come to your doubt also. Meta communication, what exactly it is? I'll tell you. Just let me complete this level and then we will go, because I left it half twice. Okay. Now, when we talk about levels, so there is a question seen on this. One is which type of level. They will give you an option. So which type of level it is? Yes, I have seen the doubts. Just give me this slide, time to complete this slide, and then I'll come to yours. Okay. Okay. So when we talk about level A, it is basically semantic noise. That is when the meaning of the message gets distorted due to unclarity or ambiguity in the words or symbols. It is not clear. Okay, there is an ambiguity, there is confusion. So such type of noise will be called as what? Will be called as level A. Okay, if I go with a sequence, if you want me to go, I'll go with sequence 1. Level B is nothing but source noise due to speech issue, like for example mumbling, lip sync, stammering, which is you're not able to come out clearly exactly what you want to talk about. So it's again a distraction, that is called as source noise, that is called as level B. Coming to level C, that is the third, it occurs channel noise, that it occurs because of poor sound quality or medium. So maybe some technical error. So you can just keep in mind some technical error can result into channel noise, which you tell us is level C. Level D is psychological noise, which occurs from preconceived notions communicators bring to their communication. Now it means to conserve one with another. Now many students had a doubt for this. What is this psychological noise? I'll repeat it again. Like for example, psychological, it means you are trying to understand. I mean to say you are not trying to break your stereotype. Or you feel that no, he said this, no, so the meaning will be this only. Like for example, if I'm generally asking you, how are you, how are your studies going on, so you will take, he is very scholar, he knows his studies are done and I am not able to cope up. So this, he is purposely saying that. So I generally asked you the question without any preconceived notion, but in your mind there is a preconceived notion, you will take it negatively only. So if your mind is negatively preconceived, so you will take it like that only. If your mind is positive, even my negative sentence will be taken a positive by you. So that is called as what? A psychological noise. Okay, so that is level D. Now coming to now some doubts which we have. Now basically okay, coming with the first diagonal, I'm just going in reverse order. Okay, now when I say diagonal communication, diagonal, it means really from one department to another. That is from one, like as I said, suppose if you are teaching into the college wherein you have engineering also and management also. So the engineering department communicating with the management department will be called as diagonal, the cross. Okay, I mean to say the same college but departments are different. Okay, so from one department to another. So the cross form is called as what? Diagonal. Okay, now yes, who was next? Trupti, yours doubt was regarding the meta communication. Okay, now meta communication basically is called as a secondary form of communication where we use some indirect clues. The best example, if I try to tell you, is that when you add your verbal and non-verbal communication togetherly, you can tell us that it has meta communication. Okay. So now when, like for example, if I tell them I'm very happy to see you, okay, but my verbal communication has that happiness on my face also. Like when I'm saying I'm happy to see you, my eyes gets brighten up, my face has that smile. So when I am giving such type of communicative expressions with my communication, then I can say it is called as meta communication. So it is called as secondary, means to support your statement you use something else also, maybe the non-verbal clues. So that is called as meta. Is it clear? Horizontal, vertical, meta and diagonal. Is it clear with everyone? Okay, Julie, I think yes, I got a message from you. Who was the next? Trupti, I hope you are clear with the meta communication. Okay, yes. Now there are words seen with this connotative and denotative words. So let's clear that also. Okay, connotation and denotation. Here also you can use, they have given questions based on examples. They have given questions based using explicit and implicit also. Meta communication, Gayatri, it is intentional, unintentional, it can be both. Okay, it is now, if you want to give a very perfect understanding of your message, you will purposely, roll your or facial expressions, you will do like that. So it can be both, depending upon what situation you are in. If you don't want to give the clue, you will just say verbal communication and make your face dry also. So that depends upon how the situation is. Now, connotation and denotation, that is connotative and denotative words. Let's see what exactly it is. Easiest way to keep in mind, I mean to say, when I'm talking about denotative, see, the denotative meaning, I'll take first denotation. It basically means, the dictionary meaning of the word. Okay, dictionary meaning, the clear dictionary meaning of the word. Like for example, I've written an example over here, the color blue. Okay, it indicates the color. We know the color. It only indicates color. But the same example, if I take in connotation, it refers to the personal and cultural meaning in addition to their basic meaning. So if I say blue color, okay, that is expressing the sadness, okay, expressing the pain. Okay, so that means connotative goes little bit extra additional in order to give the feelings and emotions and personal touch to the message. So that is called as connotative. So when I say denotative, it is direct, no? So it will be called as explicit. Many times they are confusing with this things to you, which is explicit and which is implicit. So you should know it very well. Okay, you should know it very well that your denotative, now don't by heart it. Denotative, it means which is direct, because it is referring the dictionary meaning. So it is called as what? Explicit. When I say connotative, it means it is indirect, giving a support with the help of personal or cultural addition to the original message. So it is implicit. That is called as indirect. Then coming to denotative, it is not thus classified. There is no classification because it has one pure meaning. Whereas if I talk about connotation, it is classified as positive and negative. Okay, positive and negative, it means how you express your feelings with the help of which words. So if it is positive connotation, it means you have expressed your feeling blue like an ocean. Okay, you just talk about basic aqua. So where it is happiness. So it depends how you are putting it. Either you are putting it positively or you are putting it negatively. Now denotation remains the same regardless whatever it is, whereas connotation can change according to the perspective or the personal experience, how you take it. Okay, so it can be positive, negative. Denotative can be as it is. So denotative is a dictionary meaning which is explicit, which is direct. Connotative is a meaning which gives a personal or cultural touch, so it becomes bit indirect and implicit. Then yes, now I'm coming to, yes, there are this questions seen on the zone of proximal development, and there is one more topic related to this development, that is scaffolding. Now there was one student, I don't remember, during the regular lecture he has put a doubt, I don't remember who it was, okay, but I will make that also clear today. So let's understand now what exactly you mean by the zone of proximal development, okay, which was given by Live Vygotsky, okay. Now when we talk about him, he was a psychologist who was, basically who was referring to psychological development of children or in children. So according to his theory of proximal development, what he said, it's, what is already known and what is not known, okay. So there is, there is a thin layer, like for example, the children already know the previous knowledge. Certain parts they do not know, they are not aware of it. But we can create a zone, okay, we can create a proximal zone. It means that we can, what we can know with the assistance of the teacher. Now see, here is the student, okay, just a minute, I have just scribbled it badly, okay, here is the student who is aware of certain things. Here is a student who is not aware of certain things, okay, he knows something, he does not know certain things. Now here between that there is a zone, okay, a proximal development which can definitely, help the student to know certain part with the assistance of the teacher, with the help of the teacher. Now when I say so, it means that the zone of proximal is defined as a space between what a learner can do without assistance and what a learner can do with the assistance of the teacher, okay, or with the capable peer group. So this zone of proximal development is nothing but a key construct in the theory of learning and development, which is given by Lev Vygotsky, that is a psychologist with reference to children development. Now in this concept, he has added one topic of scaffolding. Now what do you mean by that, scaffolding? Like first of all, what is scaffolding? It is a support system, okay. Now it tells you that it consists of the activities which are provided by the educator or the competent peer. It means it can include the educator as well as the peer group also, to support the student as he or she is led through the zone of proximal. It means that, like for example, as I said, students are aware about certain things. This is what students are aware about, and certain things students are not aware about. But just to clear or to create that zone of learning, either the teacher can help or the peer can help the student. But how? In the form of scaffolding. It means that the support is given, but the support is withdrawn, okay, that is called as tapered off, when it becomes unnecessary. Like for example, I can give you a best example. When you are teaching, like for example, you want to teach a child, riding a bicycle, okay, first day, second day, maybe 1 month, 2 months, the child keeps on falling. But after once the child knows how to balance, slowly we withdraw the hand. So that is, it means we withdraw. It means the scaffolding is provided, but it is tapered off or withdrawn when it becomes unnecessary. We know that the child can ride the bicycle very well, so the scaffold is removed. Like for example, here they have given an example of construction site. The student will be able to complete the given tasks on his own. Now, how is this related to your proximal, zone of proximal? Now see, that is given clearly over here. So just remember this concept very well, yet it is not touched. God knows, fortunately, if you remember and you get this as a question. So just be clear. He has coined, that is the psychologist has coined a definition of scaffolding such that the role of teachers and others in supporting, now others he mean to say the peer groups, the role of teachers and others in supporting the learner development and providing support structure to get to the next level or a next stage, okay, only when it is required, and to withdrawn when it is not required. So how it works over here in proximal development, it ranks that a child can perform with the help and guidance of others, but cannot yet perform independently. So Scaffolding is directly related to the zone of proximal development in that it is the support mechanism which is given that helps the learner successfully perform a task with his or her zone of proximal development. It means you will support, you will give the scaffolding, that is called a support mechanism. But the moment you feel it is not required, you will just withdraw it. And that's how the concept of scaffolding gets related to zone of proximal. I hope it is clear, very clear. There is no question on this yet, but it was, related to this theory. Any doubts over here, or else can we move ahead? Okay, if it is clear, I hope you have got this. Anything so that I can take, or I hope I can go ahead. I am not seeing any revert. So now next is the types of communication that we have already studied. That is verbal, non-verbal, written communication, listening communication, visual communication. Okay, that is verbal communication, face-to-face, telephonic, Skype, Zoom, chatting with friends. Non-verbal communication in the form of eye contact, body language. Now you have a terms over here. We'll go to these terms. Okay, facial expressions, tone of voice, posture, gesture. You have, you had in one of the previous year question, based on non-verbal communication, there was a question regarding posture of a teacher. Okay, and yes, it is, those who are the teachers over here can relate it very well. Your sturdy posture, in the class, gives a fear in the students, and, that creates a good that helps you to create a classroom management. Teacher standing in one place, not moving from one place to another place. I'm not talking about too fidget. I'm just talking about, one glance in the class and the class should be under control. That is how your posture should be in the class. It means you will not speak, but the moment you keep your eyes on one, the moment you glance your whole classroom, it is pin drop silence. So that is how the posture, that is non-verbal communication, has that weightage. That's what I wanted to tell. Okay, written communication, screen is not clear now. This was colored, but I made it black and white. So I hope, but in my PC I can see it very clearly. In my another system I'm playing it side by side. It is very clear. Okay. Written communication in the form of email, report, bulletin, letter, manual, telegram. Listening, that is active listening. We are going to do this in the front slide. This is just methods, okay? And visual communication, you people make a confusion in this visual and virtual communication. So when I'm going to go for virtual communication, just be careful, okay? Yes. Now, verbal and non-verbal, please remember, in communication, verbal communication plays less importance as compared to non-verbal communication. Just now I gave you an example of posture. I said very well, your one look should make your class pin drop silence. That is the weightage the non-verbal communication has. So let's see one of the theory for that also. Okay. Yes, that is given by Albert, Dr. Albert's rule, that is 738-35 rule. Now basically what is this? Okay, this is nothing but, this was a rule which was given by Dr. Albert when it was concluded that the tone of voice is a stronger indicator of emotion than the actual meaning. Tone, it means that even if if you try to speak, okay, but that sturdiness in your tone or in your body language will definitely give the actual meaning than your words, where you don't have to tell anything. So as per his research, 7% communication which has a more impact as your body language. So only 7% of this is there in the spoken words, 38% in the tone or voice, but majority is covered by the body language. So very, very important. Okay, and yes, all the future teachers over here, this plays an important role because generation is very different. So you have to make your body language. I'm not talking about physics. I'm talking about the control of your body language, which will help the students to be in control. Very, very important this rule is. So just keep in mind, you can get a question on this. Yes. Now coming to the next part of most probably the last part of the theory. After this we will be heading towards the questions. And before you ask me, I'll tell there are 30 questions today. So yes, tomorrow I can bring more also, because more practice is required. So let's go now. This understanding of non-verbal categories. There were questions seen on this. Okay, so let's kinesis, that is body postures or gestures or face language, facial expression. When I say eye contact, that is oculisis, that is nothing but the blink. Okay, then I say touch, that is haptis, it's called as touch. This is a technical term in communication which is given. When I talk about personal space elements, that is space between, even when two people are speaking, as per the rule there has to be a perfect distance, that is called as proximes, that is the distance. Space, it means the distance. Then paralanguage and voice, that is vocalis, it's talk about paralanguage. Now when I please remember these terms very well, you will get these things in the form of any way, and there are questions coming on this. Okay, so be careful. Okay, so when I say paralanguage, it is basically tone, intonation, or the pitch or the speed of your speaking, hesitation, gestures, all this is a part of paralanguage. Time element, that is chromics. Okay, physical environment and personal appearance. Now time element, I said chromics, there is something called as chromatics also, chromatics, which I have written in the next slide. See, next slide I have repeated again. Chromics, that is time. Proximes, that is space. Okay, oculus, that is eye contact or a gaze. Olfactus, that is smell. Haptis, that is touch. Kinesis, that is body language. Now there is something called as chromatics. Please remember, chromatics, it means with the color. Like for example, signals. So we know that is black, red and orange and green. It indicates what? So that is called as chromatics. So don't get confused with chromics and chromatics. Okay, and vocalis, that is voice. I hope it is very clear, because yes, it's not only previous year questions. Yes, kinesis is used, but many times, I mean to say, there are questions on this. So they have used, till now they have used only one, but maybe anything can come in any form. So just be prepared for your best. Okay. Yes, ideally this is last, that is synchronous and asynchronous communication. Synchronous, it means live participants. Asynchronous, it means the pre-recorded lectures, which are the videos, which are Priya, which third one you want to mention? Which slide, third one? The slide which is on the screen. Oculisics, that is one that was there in the third slide, which that is oculisis. It's like that. The pronunciation is like that. Traffic signal, Bharashali for chromatic. Okay, chromatics it is. Okay, that is for color. Yes. Synchronous and asynchronous, that is real time or live. Asynchronous, that is recorded, which is video form. You can see at any of your convenient time. Is it clear? Okay. So that's all for the theory today. Theory is left, barriers and mass media, little bit more part. I couldn't cover it because there were no time for otherwise for questions. I will take it tomorrow. So don't worry for this. Ma'am, traffic signal is chromatics. Chromatics, Bharashali. It is chromatics. You have written the spelling chronic. Chronic is I mean to say that is a disease, a chronic disease. I mean to say which is for a longer time, that is called as chronic, and it comes as CR, chronic. It is chronics. No, it is chromatic. Okay, fine. So let's go for the question, everyone. Get set, ready. Tighten your seat belts, and yes, my voice should give you that energy. So if we have 30 questions target, every day I'm just seeing the time, irrespective, I'm just seeing the target. What traffic signal, ma'am? That is called as chromatics, Julie. Okay, is it clear? So yes, everyone, ready, steady, go. A little bit easy level of questions are today, so that you get that confidence. What is required for the communication, good communication? That is clarity of thoughts, dramatic presentation, speaking in a mild tone, or speaking without pause. Okay, very good. Okay, everyone has got up. Yes, no problem, Bharashali. Okay. Fine. Yes, very good. So all the others are not at all important. Just we have seen it's about basic communication knowledge. So yes, it is clarity of thoughts. Now see, I have in my watch it is 51. So I've just I'm just taking in consideration the time. Let's see how much 30 questions we can crack in what time. But read very carefully. Do not be in a competitive mood. Answering correctly is important. Okay. Let's go for question number 2. Identify the skills promoted by communication from the following. That is question number 2. This I think is cutting today also, but I'll write it over here. So identify the skills promoted by communication from the following: reading and listening, listening and helping, helping and speaking, speaking and writing. So which skills are promoted by communication? So much time, I didn't get what time you're talking about, Julie. Okay. Yes, those students who have joined, definitely don't forget, after every time just remember to like, share, subscribe without fail. Yes, second. Okay, second mix. Okay, no, it's A, reading and listening, and it's D, speaking and writing. Yes, very good. We have Starhuna. Who is this B? Ravindra Chaurasia. Read the question very carefully. Just now we did 4 skills very well. So there is no such skill called as helping. So even if you eliminate, you get A and D as the right answer. That's right answer is option number 4. Okay, yes, eliminate. Yes, very good. So let's go to question number 3. Communication variables involved in a model of performance are what? Communication variables. So now see how they are twisted. Either you call them variables or components or factors. So what are they? Oh my god, the student started with marathon. Good. Check your scores also. Encoding, decoding, passive resistance, channelization and indifference. So which are the variables which are involved in the model of performance? Encoding, decoding, passive resistance, channelization and indifference. Read the question very carefully. They have given the word as performance also. Okay, third. Okay, fine. Okay, let's see. So right answer, yes, we have right answer, that is A, that is encoding, B, that is decoding, and the channelization. Okay, so this word was just for your for twisting the question also. So just be different, because performance, someone say that indifference is also right, but don't go here. We are talking communication performance, so just be careful. Okay, yes. Question number 4. Expressing words in communication falls under which category? Expressing words in communication falls under which category? That is sender, message, channel, receiver. Okay. Yes, I know students are keeping a tap of marathon feel. Good. Little bit after long time, even I was missing marathon. Will come very quickly for marathon also. A marathon, mega marathon. We should use the word now. Yes. Expressing words in communication falls under what? Sender, message, channel, receiver. Okay, there are mixed options B, C, D, B, C, D. Let's see what's the right answer. That expressing words. Expressing words. Who does that in communication? Who expresses? Okay, few students have right. All, just be careful, everyone. Okay. See the question very well. Wait. Now everyone said B. Expressing words. Who expresses the word? That is sender. Message does not expresses the word. Message takes the word from one person to another. It's not. It is doing the work of mediator. So it is expressing words happens by sender. Be careful, everyone. See the silly mistakes in reading the question. Okay. So be careful. Yes. The next one is that in a two process of communication, sender is at one end, whereas receiver it as what? See, if you're such lucky enough, you will get such bonus questions also. But you should read the question very carefully. Any silly mistakes will lose your bonus marks. So just be careful while reading it. Okay? Yes. Question 3, it is sender. Ashwini, it is 3's answer. Just a minute. Let me go back. It is not. I'll give you the answer. Let students answer this question. I'll come to your 3 question also. Okay, very good. So question 3 you want. 3's answer was encoding, decoding and channelization. A, option A. Okay. I had to go back for the question, which I didn't remember the question. Okay, question number 6. Yes, 101% right answers for question number 5. Very good, very good. Okay, but very easy question it was. Okay, so just don't be on sky high. Just keep yourself grounded. Let's go ahead now. Classroom communication is the basis of what? Classroom communication is the basis of what? Okay, this is question number 6. Social identity, external inanities. Now inanities meaning I have written, that is lack of sense. You will not get in this in exam. Just for understanding I have written biased passivity or group aggression. So what is classroom communication? The basis of what? You can do this in the form of elimination. Yes, very good. Some students have already started answering. Yes. Okay. That is social identity. See, question number 6. Please remember 6. Monica, you have external inanities means lack of sense. It is negative. Bias passivity is negative. Group aggression is again negative. So social identity is the basis of what? A classroom communication. Just you can go this with, aggression in something which is a negative expression. Please remember D will not be the right answer. Please be careful. Okay. Question number, now here also I have given an explanation if you want. Classroom communication is the basis of social identity. Teaching social activity as it involves both teacher and student in order to learn. Direct communication, it allows an immediate feedback. So teacher inculcate the values such as economy, social, society and culture. So this all is nothing but, it's called as what? A social identity. As teacher inculcate this values in the form of teaching process. Okay. So now next question number 7. Hitesh, what positive you wrote? I didn't get. Question number 7. A verbal communication technique used in teaching. A verbal communication technique which is used in teaching is called as what? Slow expression of words, varying the speed of voice and tone, presentation without pause, or resorting semantic jugglery, that is trickiness. So which among this can be the right answer? A verbal communication technique used in teaching. A verbal communication technique which is used in teaching. That is slow expression of words, varying the speed of voice and tone, presentation without pause, or resorting semantic jugglery, that is trickiness in your sentences or communication. Okay, very good. Yes, students have become very smart. Good. Varying the speed of voice and tone. Very good. But just concentrate so that for this easy unit, you don't have to waste an extra time. You can concentrate on other units. Okay. I'm not saying do not read it, but less time you will require. Okay. Now, the dance of honeybee conveying other bee where nectar will be found. Read the example carefully and read the options also carefully. Very good, everyone. Great score is coming. Okay. The dance of honeybee conveying other bees where the nectar will be found is an example of what? Mass communication, group communication, interpersonal communication, or intrapersonal communication. Okay, 8th one, very quick. Students are today. 2 days gap has given them a lot of energy, I guess. Okay, come on. Okay, great. Yes, so dance of honeybee is nothing but it is called as what? A group communication. Okay, very good. Next is, yes, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was successful because it was communicated in the form of formal way, lateral way, it means the hierarchy, or one way you can say, interpersonal way, or mass communication. So Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was one of the successful campaign because of what? Was it because of formal way? Was it because of lateral way? Was it because of interpersonal? Or was it mass communication? Julie, okay, you missed me. Same year. So I'm back today. Yes. Okay. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was what? Because of, okay, great. A campaign which was successful because of mass communication. Very good. Great going. Which are the features of vertical communication? I hope everyone remembers vertical, that is upward, downward. Okay, so it flows upwards or downwards through formal channels. It takes place between one division and other only. This is known as a lateral communication. So which is the right answer? What are the features of vertical communication? It flows upward or downward. It takes place between one division and other only, or it is known as lateral communication. So what is the right answer over here? Question number 10. Okay, very good, very easy it is. Now see, once your concepts are clear, no, the things, you don't have to take time to think for the questions. Very good, great, going. Okay, so we have completed first phase, that is first 10 questions, another 20 to come. So same energy, same response, and just give yourself best. Okay, let's see now. Question number 11. In verbal communication, words are what? Are they filters? Are they decorative? Are they symbols? Or are they passive barriers? In verbal communication, words are what? Okay, are they filters? Are they decorative? Are they symbols? Are they passive barriers? Yes, little bit careful. In verbal communication, words are what? Just read little bit carefully, everyone. We have done this. I have taught you this term. So just be careful when you are doing this. The right answer is words are it's not symbols. In verbal communication, the words act as a passive barriers. We have done Dr. Albert's rule also, and we have done in the types of communication also. I said that non-verbal words just act as an barriers. Okay, they are not active the way the non-verbal communication is. For question number 11, it will be option number D, not A, B, C. Please remember, it will be D. They are the passive barriers. Okay, just be careful everyone. Okay, such questions, I hope I told you to keep your notepad and pen ready, and I hope you people are writing and keeping such such worst questions, because they can attack you in any form. Okay, now non-verbal communication is mostly what? Non-verbal communication is mostly what? Is it mechanical? Is it organic? Is it unstructured, or it is structured? Okay, what is the non-verbal communication represented in the form of? Okay, non-verbal communication, okay, is what? Mechanical, sorry, or it can be called as organic communication, or it can be called as unstructured communication, or it can be called as what? C. Okay, see, yes, so there is mechanical, it means with the use of machine. Organic communication, there is nothing such. Unstructured and structured, but when it comes to non-verbal, yes, 100% right. Who is this 12th? Mr. Nanda Gopal. It's not non-verbal. It is never structured. It is unstructured. When it comes to verbal communication, it is structured. Okay, that depends upon the question also, so don't keep that in mind. But verbal communication, most of the time it's structured. Okay, now 13th question. Good speed we have got, but still just be careful. Now yes, here next is read the question. Actually I have written the meanings also very well, so that it will give you a clarity on in giving the answer. Effective communication presupposes what? Non-alignment, that is people with different objectives. This is the meaning of non-alignment in communication. Domination, that is superiority. Passivity, that is avoidance or understanding. Read the question very carefully. Effective communication means what? It predominates, or it tells what? Is it non-alignment? Is it domination? Or is it passivity, or it is understanding? Yes, very good. So effective communication presupposes, yes, see, understanding. Very good, it's understanding. Okay, so actually the question was not all this, these words were not there. This is, I just wrote the meaning. It was only this much. Okay, next, public communication tends to occur within a more dash structure. Public communication tends to occur within a more complex structure, political structure, convenient structure, or formal structure. Okay, I gave you an examples, but here this question is bit confusing. Just think over a moment and then give the answer. Public communication tends to occur within what? Okay, communication tends to occur within what? What is the right answer for this? Okay, so let's see the answer. Yes, very good. It is more of convenient structure. It means wherever, see, because we have studied public communication where you feel, it should reach the audience, selective audience. There was a meaning, selective audience. So in that sense, it convenient. It is not formal structure. It is convenient. You feel your convenience, according to your convenience you go. Is it clear? Okay, be careful this question, everyone. Next, transforming thoughts, ideas and messages into verbal and non-verbal signs. Transforming thoughts, messages, ideas into verbal and non-verbal. Question number 15. This is 15 now. Okay. What will 15th? Question number 15th on the screen, everyone. Okay. That is transforming thoughts, ideas, message will be form of what? Okay, yes, very good. Okay, great. It is encoding. Very good. 15th question, yes. 15th question, encoding. Just be careful, clearly it is given. Yes. Okay, now effective communication needs what? I hope it was easy, so I didn't encoding. That is the meaning of encoding itself. Okay, now question number 16 on the screen, everyone. Okay, effective communication needs a supportive what? Is it economic environment? Is it political environment? Is it social environment? Is it multicultural environment? Effective communication needs what? Effective. See the word effective. Okay, students are still answering 15th. Okay, I'll wait for 16th question. 16th question. See, very clear questions it has. Very clear. So just be careful. Just take little bit time to read. There is no hurry. Yes, very good. Effective communication needs supportive. Very good. It needs supportive social environment. If you remember, we have done, I mean to say, basically including all. So that is nothing but, see, economic environment and political environment and multicultural environment are not important from a student point of view. Obviously, it is a social environment which takes care of overall development. So it is effective communication needs a supportive social environment. That is overall development of a child. Okay, yes. Question number 17. A major barrier, this is question number 17 on the screen now. A major barrier in the transmission of cognitive data. Please be careful, read the word and sentence very carefully. A major barrier in transmission of cognitive data is in process of communication is an individual's what? In the process of communication, an individual's what? Is it personality? Is it expectation? Is it social status? Or is it coding ability? I hope you read the question carefully. I'll read it once again very slowly for you. A major barrier in the transmission of cognitive data in the process of communication. So your transmission of which data? Cognitive. Now you know what is cognitive. Okay. So students are making mistake in 17th question. Those old students, some are right, but some new students, I guess, see the question. That's the reason I have given the hint also for you people. So it is cognitive. Cognitive, it means one which is related to your mind, I mean to say which is related to your mental ability. So it is mental ability, not personality, not expectation, not social status, but it is coding ability. Okay, so a barrier. In order to understand a cognitive data, what will be the major barrier? That is your coding ability. If you're not able to do it, yes, cognitive means the mental ability. Correct. Question number 18. When communicated, institutionalized stereotypes becomes what? When communicated, institutional stereotypes becomes what? Okay, whether it becomes myths, whether it becomes reasons, whether it becomes experiences, or whether it becomes convictions. So what is, when communicated, institutional stereotypes becomes what? Okay, stereotypes, what it becomes. 18th, be careful everyone. Myths, when we use the word myths, no, myths when we use it, just a second, see the answer. I don't know why you people, myths, myths are basically, the stories. You can call them as stories, you call them as the stories which are related to some saga, drama, like that. So it is not myths, it is it is experiences. Myths and conviction are one and the same. Okay, conviction tells, the ability of getting someone guilty. But here, when communicated, institutional stereotypes becomes what? The experiences. Please remember, I'll explain this question, basically what exactly the question is. When, in institutions, okay, stereotype, what is the meaning of stereotypes? Okay, framing, one looking at a person with some preconceived notion. Just now we did that. Okay, now when you try to experience that, it is just because of what, when you experience it, when it happens, so it will give you a result of what experiences, that this should be not done. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. In a class, if a child is, being bullied for any reason, maybe his obesity, or maybe his dumbness, or what, any reason, a teacher learns an experience, okay, this should be stopped. So it is, when communicated, it gives experience rather than institutional stereotypes. It means, targeting someone with certain notions, with certain things. So in such case, look at the question very carefully. I gave you an example. Raina, I'll give you one more example. Similar example. In one of the college, like, there is an ragging going on. Okay, so when the ragging things are, coming out, then only the college, the institution will understand that, okay, these are the stereotypes which should, which they will understand with the help of experiences, and something can be done to stop them. A fixed image, you can say, fixed notion about something. So that is called as stereotypes. Okay. Yes, a very easy question now. A little bit break to your mind so that you can answer very easily. Communication with oneself. Is known as what? Organizational communication, grapevine, interpersonal, or intrapersonal. I hope you read it very clearly. Huh? It is with oneself. Yes, waiting for answer. Okay, giving some time so that everyone will answer before I answer. Abhijit Patil, what's wrong? It is with oneself. Yes, so it is called as what? Yes, very good. Except one, all are right. Very good. Oneself, it's called as intra, that is within. Very good. Yes, Kitty. Now, this is one of the previous year question only, very easy. The English word communication is derived from what? Communis or communicare, communist and commune, communism and communalism, communicum, or it is common sense. Question number 20 on the screen, everyone. The word communication is derived from actually a Latin word. Which are those Latin words? Communis or communicare, communist or commune, okay, or communism and communalism, or communion, or common sense. Very good. Okay, yes, we have the right answer. Very good. That is option number A. So second phase also we have completed on an average in the span of 20 minutes. Good, but okay. Now the next last phase, let's go for that. Conversing with the spirits and the ancestors is termed as what? Conversing with the spirits and the ancestors is termed as what? Is it transpersonal? Is it intrapersonal? Is it interpersonal? Or is it a face-to-face communication? Okay, what does it call as? 21. We are talking about 21. I hope 21's answer, because you people stopped writing the question number, so it becomes little difficult. Okay, 21. Okay, fine. Yes, it is called as transpersonal. Okay, very good. Yes, everyone, speed is little reduced. Tired of what, everyone? Just once again, get set, go, everyone. Yes. Imagine you're sitting in an examination hall and now the invigilator is announcing last 15 minutes to go. Okay. So with that speed, you will do it faster. That is 22nd question. Mr. A, how are you? Mr. B, fine, thank you. So what exactly did Shakti, this question is for you. If you are there, I can't see you in any message. Is it a transactional model? Is it an interactional model? Or is it a horizontal model? Or is it a linear model? So what exactly this dialogue form will be called as? 22nd on the screen now. We have 22nd question. Okay, whether it will be called as transactional model, whether it will be called as interactional model, whether we will call as horizontal model, or whether it will be called as linear model. Okay, what it will be known as. Very good, great. Yes. Examination hall sentence has brought a lot of energy, I guess. Okay, so I should keep on saying that after every 10 minutes. Good, everyone. Very good. Yes. So let's go to question number 23 now. Okay. Question 23 talks about, in the process of establishing communication between the newspaper and the readers, the feedback is received from what? From the articles, from the editorials, from the letter to the editors, or from the newspaper. In the process of establishing communication between the newspapers and the readers, feedback is received from what? Okay. Julie, basically interpersonal communication is between transactional, as I said, no? When basically we use in the form of, business mode, transactional model. Okay. So it is nothing but, transacting, but for certain things. In interpersonal, there is the aim is just to clear the message, but in transactional there is some gain out of that message, so we can use the word as transactional. Okay, yes, in the process of establishing communication between newspapers and reader, the feedback comes from, yes, letters to editors. Very good. Okay, yes, now going to 24th question. Ashwini, wait, what was that? 22nd. Okay, models. I'll tomorrow quickly. This is types of communication only. Horizontal, we read like that. So I'll give you more examples then tomorrow if you want. Okay. So let me plan that examples. If you're confused with that, I'll come up with the examples. Okay. Now, 24th question. For effective communication, which of the following should be given priority? For effective communication, which of the following should be given priority? Selection of the means of communication. Read this question very carefully. Students do a lot of mistakes over here. Selection of means of communication, planning the evaluation process, objectives of communication, or identification of various means of communication. So, which of the following should be given a priority when it comes to effective communication? 24th, very good. Students have started, but some are saying one, some are saying other. There is no consistency on 24th answer. I said no, students will do mistake. Okay. In effective communication, you did a mistake. In effective communication, selection of means of communication is more important than the objective. I am not denying that objectives are not right, but more priority is selection. Why? See. Noise is the first and biggest barrier to effective communication. Hence, the priority always should be given to select the means of communication as would eliminate or minimize the occurrence of noise. So if the channel is not proper, okay, or the medium is not proper, so in that case the communication, the objective itself will not clear. So it is no, it is why, sorry Raina, it's not C, it's A, only A. The right answer is A. I have given an explanation also. Noise is one of the barrier which can spoil, biggest barrier for effective communication as compared to the objectives. Objectives will come only when the message is read and understood. So in that case, noise, in that point of view, selection of a means of communication is the priority rather than objectives. Objectives will come with second priority. Okay, so just be careful everyone, think over such questions. That's the reason I said first only. Okay, yes. Now level C, I have done this during the theory. Let me see now how many of them were sleeping and how many of them are awake. Why, ma'am? Because Ashwini, you want to give a message. You are going to give a message with the help of channel. If your message only is not reaching, how you will, the channel itself is wrong. Suppose there is lot of noise and the message has not reached, how you will realize the objective? So the message should reach, no, in order to clear the objective. So that's the reason the selection of means of communication or channel should be more important than the objectives. Okay, yes, let me see. Very good. Level C of effectiveness of communication is defined as what? Channel, noise, semantic, psychological, or source. Very good. 25th, some of them, just a minute. Okay, yes. Channel noise. I thought, sorry, yes, I have seen 2-3 wrong answers. So it is channel noise. I have told now level A, B, C, D stands for what? Okay. Now, this also we have done. So right answers I should get. In communication, connotative words are what? In communication, connotative words are what? Psychology, level C, channel, Bharashali, it is channel noise. Level C. Just be careful. In communication, connotative words are what? Explicit, abstract, simple, or cultural. In in communication, connotative words are what? It's not transaction, it's Julie, okay, Febin, you are telling this to Julie. Okay. Yes, 26th everyone, 26th I'm waiting. What mistakes you are doing everyone? What's wrong? In communication, connotative words which we give personal touch, where we give personal meaning. Okay, that is, that is not explicit. Very wrong. It is cultural. Just now I taught, no, explicit and implicit. Denotative is what? Direct meaning. That is called explicit, it means direct. Yes, connotative, it means where we give the cultural, personal emotions for the meaning. Personal, we add something. It means indirect. Okay, so that is called as what? Implicit. Or you could write, the definition tells about cultural and personal. Now very smart, Febin, typing mistake. This typing mistake will take your -2. Remember that. You want to cross the net examination with proper merit. So just be ensure that your cutoff should reach. This -2 will take the cutoff. Be careful everyone. I was expecting 100% answers here. Okay. Now next question number 27. Now be perfect everyone. Concentrate. Interaction inside the classroom should generate what? Argument, information, ideas, controversy. Here also they will get confused. Okay. Information, interaction, okay, in the classroom should generate what? Okay, should it generate the argument? Okay, should it generate information? Should it generate ideas or controversy? Suman, abstract, it means just an idea, but here connotative meaning is the one which is with reference to personal and cultural meaning. So abstract is not the meaning, the dictionary meaning of connotative. I mean to say the meaning of the sentence. So abstract is not an right answer. Okay. Yes, 27th. Okay. Yes, 27th it will be ideas. Okay. Not controversies or information or argument. Very good. Yes. 28th, classroom communication must be. Now very easy answer. We know this since teaching aid. I have been teaching you this very well. Classroom communication must be what? Teacher centric, student centric, generic centric, textbook centric, or what? Classroom communication. Everyone, what should be classroom communication? Explicit, Kaushalya, explicit, it means direct, which we use for denotative. Denotative. Here it is connotative. The question was connotative. It means it is implicit, indirect. Okay. Yes, 101%. It should be student centric. Kaushalya, I hope you're okay. Now, 29th question. Classroom communication of a teacher rests on the principle of what? Teacher's classroom communication. Teacher. So what it rests on? Infotainment or edutainment or entertainment or a power equation. What should be the teacher's communication based on? Okay, whether it is on infotainment or whether it is edutainment or whether it is entertainment or whether it is power equation. So what exactly is? Yes, okay, very good. Some of them have not said a wrong answer. It is education and entertainment. Edutainment is nothing but education and entertainment. Please just keep this in mind very well. Okay. Yes, and now we took, I mean to say, on an average we have taken 40 minutes for 30 questions, but not bad. Okay, so let's see. What is important when a teacher communicates with her student? Either it is sympathy, or whether it is empathy, or whether it is apathy, or whether it is antipathy. So what is important when a teacher communicates with her? This is given in a very different format. So what is important when a teacher communicates? Very good. Okay, it is empathy. I'll just repeat all these terms because some students may be new, they may be not knowing. So empathy is nothing but the ability to understand and share the feelings of each another, that is especially the students. Sympathy is a PT feeling which should definitely not be given by teacher. Apathy is lack of interest, enthusiasm or concern, which is again not by teacher. Antipathy, it means deep seated feeling like dislike, aversion you tell, which is again not given by teacher. So all shows a negative form. Only empathy is a positive form. Okay, is it clear? Yes. So tomorrow, see, I have completed 3 units, and I told that the moment I complete the units, your revision also should happen. So it is a challenge for every one of you, whether research aptitude 2 days gap also you got to study your logical subject, but at the same time the gap was also to ensure that 2 units you should have completed, teaching aptitude and your research. Okay. Apart from that, we do have a crash course of paper 1, that is for common for everyone, consisting of mock test, consisting of PDF solution, notes, video lectures, MCQs, okay, along with MCQs PDF. And for economics and commerce 2 also we have paper 2 crash course, that is for with 20 mock test. Then we have PDF solution, notes, MCQs with PDF, okay, all at 999. That is paper 1 999 and paper 2 irrespectively the subject wise 999. Yes, who is this Priya? I will do it tomorrow. That quick revision I'll do tomorrow for you. Okay, so that's all for the day. Have a very great learning night. Okay, days are less, your pressure should be more, and ensure that you are winding up your portion before an examination so that we can do a mega marathon also. Instead of doing marathon, we can go for mega marathon. Okay, yes, Raina, same here. Would love to see you all tomorrow without fail at sharp 9 o'clock. Okay, 9 p.m. So thanks everyone. Have a safe day ahead and night, and ensure that we are back tomorrow.